So what do we have going on today? MarketStats, and the class is actually called Marketing with MarketStats. I am not your instructor today. Oh, and I'm just My Real Source MLS. I didn't even change my name. So you'll see Chris Nixon. He is sporting a very nice My Real Source golf shirt. And
I hate him because the collars always flip up, and then you look like, I don't know, you look like you ran into something. We need new golf shirts.
Okay, I'll put the requisition in. So today, Chris is going to be teaching marketing with MarketStats. He's going to go through some really cool scenarios with you. He gets really creative with his information. And this is stuff that you can use in listing presentations. You can use on Facebook. You can use it for your own edification to see what's going on in the market. So I have loaded up a few of the handouts. So you'll see in the GoToWebinar panel, you can ask questions in there, which if you need Chris to repeat them, like, I'm sorry, I missed that. What? Where'd you go? Because I have a nice big cursor that I use so you could really see my mouse go around. And if the screen's too small, let us know. So we've got those 3 handouts are in there under the questions, and then there's your handouts. One is comparing 2 different locations, which is really cool. The second one is how to do the lead generation. And of course, the third one highlights our newest areas that we did, it was back in January. So we have a whole area of the points. So that was really cool because we have a lot of people work in the gross point area, and they say they want all of the points together. I'm like, okie dokie. So that's what they got going. So I am going to be turning off my camera. Enjoy your class, Chris, and if I have any questions, you know me, I will pipe in and interrupt you.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave my video. Whoa, that got really close. I'm going to leave my video on just for a minute. I'm going to turn it off when I get into my screen. And I think you'll be able to follow me pretty well. I have a magnifier on my cursor. Quickly about myself, I've been doing real estate over a decade now. I've been teaching for probably 7 years with My Real Source. Do a class on Cloud CMA, a little bit on Paragon, and then MarketStats that we're going to cover today. I think MarketStats is just an absolutely amazing tool. I use it quite a bit, especially when I use it as a way to stay in touch with my people on my Sphere of SOI list. It's a great way to do an easy communication with them and several other things. So with that, we're going to get going. I'm going to change this. I'm going to shut off my video feed because you don't need to see that. And then we're going to switch the screens, and yep, we're all looking at my Paragon homepage here. So the class is, sorry, I'm making an adjustment here. The class is just about an hour long. We shouldn't be going too much past 11 o'clock. It's not a class to follow along so much as just to see the information that's all available. At the end, I'll show you where you can find everything that we talk about today on on our YouTube page and in other areas that My Real Source offers to you. So with that, we're gonna start off with MarketStats, and it's pretty cool. There's actually 2 things in there. There's InfoSparks and MarketStats. They're both really, really good tools. Both of them are accessible in a couple of different ways, which I find really neat. So with that, we're going to get going. Where we're going to be working today to start the class is up here under Resources. And then MarketStats. It's the second tab down under Social Media and Lead Generation. Right here, we're going to be working in MarketStats. When you open MarketStats, there's 2 things that, this is the main page that opens up. This is kind of the title bar up here. The ones we're going to be concentrating on today are InfoSparks and FastStats. FastStats is when, mostly when you see all these mortgage companies or you see other real estate offices or different MLSs putting out how's the market doing in my local area, they're pulling the information from FastStats. My Real Source data will be slightly different than other MLSs in the area, only because we have different data points. So for the MLS overall, the communities, the different cities should be about the same, and the different like townships should be about the same with the same data. But this is where all this information comes from. They're all pulling it from FastStats. I also use FastStats because when I get that question from somebody, hey, Chris, how's the market doing? my first question always back to them is, what market are you interested in? Because as you're going to see as we go through this, if I give them numbers for, let's say, Shelby Township, but they actually live in Sterling Heights, those numbers could be vastly different as to how the market's performing. Similarly, if I give them information based on Macomb County and they want like Clinton Township, those numbers are all going to be vastly different. So whenever someone asks me, hey, Chris, how's the market doing? I always ask them, what market are you interested in? I'm going to go to FastStats right now. And so when they tell me, then I can either open up this information on my phone. This information is easily accessible if you have the Showing Time application, Showing Time app on your phone. You can go to Showing Time, and I'll show you where it's at on Showing Time, how to get to this report super quickly. I've done it at I had kids that played sports in high school. We'd be at different various sporting events. Parents knew I was a realtor. They would ask me. I knew they lived in Sterling Heights. I'd say, hey, just a minute, let me send you something real quick. I already had their phone number or in my phone. If I didn't have somebody in my contact list, then I ask them, hey, can I get your phone number real quick? I want to send you a quick little, market information. And they usually give me their phone number, and while my phone's open, I say, can I have an email too? And they'll give me an email address. So I use that as a way to capture them and then drip on them. Maybe there'll be somebody that'll be in my cold lead list, and I'll send them information maybe once a quarter or certainly every 6 months just to stay in touch with them. So to get to the information that I'm talking about through FastStats, and by the way, we just added 2 more counties up here. They're in green because you can only access the county information. You can't access the individual municipality information. If you pull this similar report up from somebody else, they may have other counties than what we have. But this is the entire MI Real Source area. This is the main page for FastStats. And with that, you have these 3 kind of reports over here. You have the blue, which is the local market updates, the monthly indicators, and the monthly data sheets. I'll go over all 3 of them real quickly. The one I use the most is local market updates. With that, these are the areas you can get information of. You can get the entire My Real Source area, but I don't really recommend that. I also attach this report in almost every CMA that I'm doing just to show my clients what the market's doing in the area that I'm preparing a CMA for. So I live in Macomb County, Sterling Heights in particular, grew up in Shelby Township. I know Clinton Township. I know those areas really well. The steps I'm going to use for Macomb County apply to any one of these areas that you see here. So let's get into it a little bit and how to actually use FastStats once we go to this page and the local market updates. You just highlight a county that you want to be in. And then within that county, you have all these different cities and townships and everything else that you can look at individually. You can either view the entire Macomb County report, and that's really simple to do. You just select that, and the report generates. Now, all these reports, when they come out, will always be the same. It gives you the date it's good to. This information is updated somewhere between the 12th and the 15th of the previous month, or of the following month. So October's information won't come out until mid-November. So right now we're still operating in September. This is the September information because, again, October's information won't come out until mid-November. And all these reports are formatted the same. You can't edit them, you can't change them. It's this blue and gray color. We always have the residential report at top and the condo report down below. And these 2 graphs kind of show the 2 different markets as well. Within these, you can see the headings right here that we track, the key metrics. This is September 2022 compared to September 23. This first column is always the previous month compared to the current month, the data points for those months. As you can see for Macomb County, the number of new listings from 2022 to 2023 in September only actually went down 22%. In the year to date, now this is from January 1st to September of 2022 and January 1st of 2022 to January 1st of 2023. This is the year-to-date column over here. It actually, all through last year, they had a total of 10,980. new listings, and currently we only have 8,200, which is a decline of 25.3%. This is Macomb County. Now, remember when I said it's very important to know what area you're talking about. If I just, kind of focused on these numbers, and these are the numbers I gave back, and I said, well, overall, we're kind of down around 20% from the, previous year in September of last year and all that other stuff. That could be for 20% down in new listings. The median sales price has gone up on average, over the course from last year to this year, about 2%. Those would be the numbers I could say if I just focused on Macomb County. But let's go back and look at within Macomb County. Let's look at Sterling Heights. Again, just click on the area and it'll automatically format everything. Sterling Heights is painting a worse picture. We actually went down 34%, and our median sales price, if you recall, on Macomb County, year to date was 2%, but in Sterling Heights, it's only 1.7%. That's why I want to know what area they're interested in, because I want to get them the best information that I can get them available. Let's check another one. Let's check Shelby Township and see how that report looks. The median sales price actually went up 3.5%. So compared to September of 2022 to September of 2023, there was a 15% jump in the month just in Shelby. And if we look at Sterling Heights, we only had a 7%. That's why you want to specifically know what area they're in. I look at these reports every month when the information comes out, just so I'm a little more familiar with kind of how things are trending. So I do use this report. Just it's quick for me to look at. It's easy for me to kind of understand where the numbers are at and where they're trending, especially in the areas that I work the most in. This report is great. I download it and I save it as a PDF and I include it in my CMAs whenever I do a CMA for whatever city my CMA is going to be applicable for, because I want the people to see how the market's doing. So it's the similar wherever you go. You just got to look in some of the areas. I'm going to go back, just select the back button. It'll take you back to the main map. Oakland County gets a little dicey down here. You can see in this area they couldn't get all the names in, so you're going to find them down here. In the Bloomfield area, to get to Bloomfield Hills in Birmingham, it's over here to the right of your margin. You can either select the area directly or on the name, and it'll open up the report. Here's Ortonville, is stuck way up here inside of Brandon Township. So I'm just letting you know that where you can find some of the different, how to really look at everything a little clearer. You can only generate one report at a time, and you can't, like if you want Novi Township, you can get Novi Township, and Novi won't include the information for Novi Township. So it's a great tool. I use it quite a bit. Similarly to Macomb County, you can view the Oakland County report, and we'll take a look at that real quick. Oakland County's median sales price September to September was 8.9%, but year to date, it's only gone up 2.9%, where if you look at Macomb County, our median sales price only went up 2.0%. So year to date, they've been tracking similar, on similar paths here. A lot of great information, a lot of good talking points. I'm just going to close out some of these reports here, that you can get this information and send it to your clients at any time. You can attach it in emails. You can use it in CMAs like I do, or when people ask me how the market's doing, even if it's a close friend of mine and I know where they live, I just pull this report up and text it to them real quickly. The other two tabs that are available under FastStats are monthly indicators. Monthly indicators and monthly data sheets don't have the ability to go into local markets. It takes our entire My Real Source area and gives you a report for the whole My Real Source area. It gives you a breakdown of, there's a whole lot of reading you can do here. It's well formatted. It's a great report to read. There have been times when I've gone through this and I've taken some of these pages and saved the pages individually and including them either in a marketing plan to somebody or a CMA to them if I wanted to. So there's some really good information in here that it's nicely formatted, easy to read. If you have somebody who wants to know a little bit about a market in an area, maybe they're moving in, or you're working with an investor that's looking for stuff, maybe this report is something that you want to send them. It breaks it down in some nice graphics for them to look at. So, that's the monthly. That's the monthly indicators. That's an entire My Real Source area. It's a cool report. If you're someone who likes to read through reports and you like data and analytics, that could be a good report that you use. If you have a client that really likes that kind of information, send them that report. It'd be great for them to see that. So that's available to you. The other one is the monthly data sheet. This, like I said, is another report that only encompasses the entire My Real Source area. So just simply select that, and it generates a report. This is kind of nice. I have used this report when I have investors that are looking to compare different counties, and they're seeing where maybe they can get a better bang for their buck or how housing trends are going. So I use this page for them. Here's another one that this you can see across the top what it covers. This is September 23rd year to date, and this is September 2023. So as you can see here, it goes September 23, September 22, and the changes. So I've used these two reports with investors. I just send this to them as a link so that they can see how it's going county by county by county. If you're one of those realtors that really puts a lot of time and effort into knowing your markets and understanding your counties, this can be a great report for you as well to become familiar with. All this information is automatically updated. The following, it always lags about a month. So October's report won't come out until mid-November. So those are the three things that you can do with FastStats in under MarketStats. I told you real quickly that this is easy to do. When I'm on my phone and somebody asks for this information and I'm standing there, I was at a football game and they asked me how the market's doing and I already had their contact. I opened up showing time information on my cell phone. Remind me later. Oops. And on the left side of your cell phone screen, you will see this, or it's a drop-down button with those three lines up top. You come down here to where it says reports. You select reports, and it's right here. It's the top report. It says MarketStats. Select MarketStats. It opens it up. It's great to do on your phone. This heading comes up just like this. I find InfoSpark's kind of hard to do on the phone. So you just come over here to FastStats, which is the third one in on the top. Open up FastStats, and the process begins. I go to Macomb County, Sterling Heights. There's my report. I have an iPhone. I would hit the save button or send button, and then just send it as a text attachment to whoever was asking me the information. So it's just showing you that it can be gotten off of your Showing Time app on your phone. I can't show you my screen. I haven't figured out how to integrate that into this class, but the menu is the same on your Showing Time app as what you're looking at now. You want to come down to reports, select reports, open up MarketStats, and go through the steps to get to where we were over here for FastStats. That's the easy part with FastStats. It's a great tool. It's a simple tool. I use it quite a bit. It helps to so I don't have to memorize all the information about what's going on in each market. So I can talk intelligently as to what's going on in each market, and I can have those conversations with my clients. And so those people start trusting me for how the market's doing. This is a simple report that you can use in different ways if you're doing any kind of follow-up with your clients. And as I said, I use it with every CMA. I download this and I save that report and I add it into the CMA, and I use it as a talking point in both my marketing approach when I'm trying to win that listing, or just sitting down when I'm discussing a CMA with them. So that is FastStats. That was in Paragon, Resources, MarketStats. And when MarketStats open up, You have InfoSparks or FastStats. The other part that we're going to be talking about, and this is another aspect of MarketStats that I use quite a bit, is called InfoSparks. First off, I'm going to check to see anybody have any questions on FastStats right now. I'm not seeing it typed in, so I'm just going to move on right now to the InfoSparks portion of it. If you have any questions, type them in there where it says questions there on your screen, and we'll try to get them answered for you. So the second part that we're talking about, this one is another really cool tool that is offered to you through MarketStats. It's called InfoSparks. A little more work to it. What InfoSparks allows you to do is compare up to 4 different market areas that you want to look at the information for. All the information that you can see for each of the reports are down here on the bottom in these bottom tabs. We have sale price, the median and the average, new listings, home for sale, pending sales, closed sales, days on market, monthly supply, percentage of list price, price per square foot, dollar volume, shows to pending, and shows per listing. Those are all the different reports you can see. You cannot combine reports. You can only run one report at a time. But the really nice thing is you can compare up to 4 areas. So I'll show you how to do it, and then I'll kind of explain to you some of the different ways that I use it in my marketing campaigns and or to stay in touch with my clients on a quarterly basis type deal. So up at the top, you have this tab. The first tab says enter the MLS. It could be the MLS area. You can either select the drop-down screen, drop-down tab, and scroll all the way through till you find what you want, or you can do it by county, postal code, school district area, or you can just simply type in, if you know the area already, you can begin typing and it'll auto-populate. So we're going to be, the first area is Sterling Heights. So you have Sterling Heights 50012. This is my real source identifier for Sterling Heights. Anything that starts with a 50 belongs in Macomb County. And the real reason I'm telling you that is, let's go over here, and the other one we're going to compare is Shelby Township. That starts with 50, so we're good there. And then we're going to do Clinton Township. That's the other one. So we're just start typing Clinton. When you look, you have Clinton Township with 46004, Clinton Township starts with a 50, and Clinton Township that starts with the 68. These two are in different counties in the state. They are not the ones in Macomb County. So if you click on these, and I learned it the hard way because my original first time I did something like this, I actually gave people information out on the west side of the state by Grand Rapids. And that was kind of like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So just keep in mind that anything that starts with the 50 is the correct one. So we're going to select this Clinton Township because it's in Macomb County. They don't have to be all in the same county either. You could, like, I could throw in Troy right now if I wanted to, because those are similar areas. So similar in home values kind of to Sterling Heights, Shelby, and Clinton Township. I was staying in Macomb County, but I can certainly add Troy. All you do is just select the tab and start typing. Troy comes in and you enter that. Anything that that begins in Oakland County begins with a 63. So we're going to use Troy. Those are my 4 areas that I'm going to compare market data for. The nice thing is, in InfoSparks, each one of these tabs are color coded to these lines down below. Blue is Sterling Heights, green is Shelby Township, gray is Clinton Township, and red is Troy. I can throw in here Auburn Hills, let's say, or yeah, we'll go with Rochester Hills if I want. Just start typing Rochester Hills. We're going to select Rochester Hills. Started with 63. We know we're in the right county. So here are your 4 line graphs, color coordinated to match these tabs. And here's another further breakdown over here on the right side of your screen. Within each one of these tabs, we have, you can tell which tab you're working in because the ones that are closed are kind of grayed out, and the one you're working in is white. So if we go to Sterling Heights, you have all these different sub tabs you can work with. You have the price range, property type. You can do all property types or only residential. You can search for certain sizes, bedrooms, waterfront, all that other stuff. So you know, if you want to get specific and tell somebody, hey, here's some market data for single family residential previously owned in these areas, not including new construction. So if you wanted to do something like that, you would just select residential. That gets rid of condos or farms, and not new construction, previously owned. The only issue that I don't like is, in order for my report to be the same, you have to come into Shelby Township and you have to do the same one for each individual tab. You have to open up the tab, come through and change all these headings so that they're all collecting the same data. If you wanted to search a specific price range, let's say somebody was looking in the $300,000 to $400,000 or 300, we'll go 350 to 450 price range, and you want to show them how it's doing just in that range and get rid of all the lower end or higher end homes, you can come through and do that for each tab as well. We're working in the Troy tab because it's open and it's white. So you could either do all price ranges, or each one of these tabs have these individual kind of formatted pricing points, but we're going to get really specific, and because they're different for each one, as you see, Rochester, this is Troy, Rochester Hills numbers are different, et cetera, et cetera. I want to create it so we're all looking at, all four of my tabs are looking at the same data points. So you select custom, Troy comes up, we're going to clear it all, we're going to put, and that wipes out everything that was preset, 300 to $450,000. Yeah, oops. See if I can get the 0 in there. It won't let me do the 0, so it's actually going to go to 451. It doesn't quite matter because we're going to do that for a custom range for Troy. You select done, come to Rochester Hills, custom price range, clear it first. 300 to 450, and you repeat this process. Select done, Shelby Township, custom range, clear, 300 to 450. Now what this is going to do is this will set the price range, the data points that I'm going to see for each four of these areas for my clients, so they can get a better idea of how the markets are doing in the price range that they're going to be looking for homes. It's going to pull that data only for the price range 300 to 450, residential, and previously owned. It won't include any new construction. If I did want to include I could just come back and hit all construction types and do that across each one of those tabs, and it would pull only that information. Well, I'm going to leave it set up how it is now. You can select 3-bedroom homes if you want. You can also put in the square footage if you want. You can similar format. Select custom, clear out these square footages, and then add your own. But right now we're selecting all sizes of square footage, and these other items that we already selected. So you have the color coding on top of the tab to match the graphs down below. So with this, there's a couple ways that you can introduce this data to your clients. First off, you have the average price and the median sales price. If you want to see the number of homes for sale, you can select that, and you'll see how this chart kind of changes with each one of these tabs that you're selecting. Days on market, you can see that. You can only run one report at a time. You can't overlay these different charts. So here are the number of new listings. We'll go with homes for sale. Right now, with the homes for sale in those 3 areas, based on a price range of $300,000 to $450,000. The interesting thing to submit this data to your client is you have a couple of ways of doing it. You can do it as a line graph, which we're in now, or you can do it as a bar graph. And a bar graph will only take the values and trends up to 3 years back. So here you go. You go 3 years back. Here are the color coded to match our tabs, and here's the homes for sale in those areas, and the number of homes for sale going on like a 3-year back. All right, this is 2023, 2022, and 2021. This is all through September. Number of new listings, you can see it in a bar graph form, price per square foot, all these different tabs. All you do is just select the tab and the graph automatically changes. Having said that, me personally, I don't like the bar graph look. Some people really like the bar graph. Whatever you like, that's fine. You can use whichever one you want in your reports or what you're sending out. It's up to you. The bar graph only does go back 3 years. The other way you can do it is going back to the line graph. Just toggle between these little tabs up here. You can go back 5 years or 10 years. So I'm just right now it's set for 3 years. I'm going to show you how this graph changes the number of homes for sale over a 10-year period in these 4 communities. And what you'll see is you start seeing the historical, a little bit of we went up in the middle of 2015, and then we came down, and then now we've been on a little bit of a slide here. And this is on the way it's calculated is this final tab. We went over line, the number of years you can go back, and now we have this tab right here, which is the data, which determines the length of time for each data element. So what I like to do is you have rolling 12 months, which it's in now, rolling 6 months, rolling 3 months, and the one I like the most, if I really want to make a visual impact, is select monthly. Watch how this graph chart changes over 10 years if we go monthly. Now you can see month by month by month all the ups and downs, and what you start seeing is a cyclical pattern. Here it is in August. Here it is in August. Here it is in July and August. Here it is in July, August, August and September. What you start seeing is the number of homes for sale seem to kind of peak in August across all 4 of these communities, looking at the same data points for which we're selecting. By doing this, you can, and all the lows seem to be right around February. I mean, this goes back 10 years. This goes back through the housing boom, COVID, where's COVID's right in here. Even during COVID in July and August, we were still, that was the highest points for homes listed. This lagged a little bit, but I mean, this is the historical data going back 10 years. Here's the sale price right here. Same thing with sale price. That's why I like this chart. You can see how it goes up and down. Month by month, and you can start seeing the patterns in highs and lows. Start seeing always be around the same time. So if you're trying to convince somebody to do that listing, and they're talking to you, and it's getting near August, it's like June, July, and they say, well, we think we're going to wait till like after October. You may be able to go back to them and say, hey, the average sales price seems to be highest in June and July, and then by the time we get down in October, they're dropping. This could be a really good graph to show people. If you don't want to go back 10 years, just come up here, select years. We can go back 3 years and show the same thing. But you start seeing the peaks and the valleys hitting the same points throughout the year. That's why I like this graph. That's why I like using it under monthly data points. As you may have noticed, as I move across the graph, wherever I move my cursor, it gives you the individual data for each one of those points. You can see it in that pop-out box to the left there, color-coded for Sterling Heights, Shelby Township, and Rochester Hills and Troy to match your tabs up above. So you have all that information right there. Once you select the report, so I'm gonna clear this out. I want to clear this. Done custom range. We're going to go to, where are we in Sterling Heights? There you go. We're going to select done. All price ranges. For Shelby Township, all price ranges. Oh, got to clear this. And we're in Shelby Township. And done. So all price ranges, Sterling Heights. Do I have the right one in here? Yeah, all price ranges. Rochester Hills, same thing. I want to get to the chart just because I want to go back to where we should be. This one is Rochester Hills. We're going to be done. All price ranges for Rochester Hills, and we're going to do the same thing in Troy. We're going to clear out this little bit of custom range that I put in there for pricing, just because I want to get bigger data points for all this, so we can really see how these markets are performing. So here we go. We got our monthly data points. We've got 3 years. Here's a 5-year graph. We'll keep it at 3 years for right now. So now you have this information. You can see how the sale of the home prices has been. Over here on the far right side, it summarizes everything through September of 2023. You can see Sterling Heights is way down here on the bottom with the average. We're looking at average sale price in Sterling Heights is 319, Shelby 471, Rochester Hills, and Troy. So now you have this great information. What do you do with it? There's a couple of ways you can share it, and that's where InfoSparks is a really, really great tool. You can, to share this, you can print it as a PDF. Before we get to sharing, I'm going to show you real quickly. If you select the print button, it comes up, and then right here you can download this as a PDF, and it'll give you all the information that's needed. My screen's a little big right now. You got to kind of play with it to get to format it to get it all to fit in one cool report. Looks like it cut some of it off here on the end, but let's see if I take this down. Nope. You have to do it before you go to the print part. When you hit the print button. That's one way to share it as a PDF. The other way to do it is you come over here and select the share button. And when the share button is open, you have a couple options under share. The first thing you have to determine is, do you want to do it static or live? What static or live means, the difference between the two is if you're going to save it on social media, because you can send this to your Facebook, or if you're going to email it to somebody, or I use it in group email where I send it to emails to my clients. I kind of group, I took the time to kind of group my clients that all kind of live in similar, in 4 cities that are close to each other. And then I send each one of them this email with all 4 cities in it. So that way I can, take care of a larger chunk of my database by sending them this email. It takes a little bit of extra time. It does. When I do this on my quarterly emails, it takes me about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to pull the data, put together the emails, and send them out. That right now the market's a little slower, so rather than sitting and watching TikTok on my phone for 4 hours, I'll take this and do it. It does take a little bit of time to put it together, but it's well worth it to get it out. And honestly, once I got the first one set up and going, and I got the groups all set up, I kind of pre-formatted my email. I'll show you that towards the end here. Then it becomes really quickly just to cut and kind of paste things in, and it's easy to do. My initial one took me a little longer, but afterwards I can get done in about 2.5 to 3 hours and get a couple hundred emails out to people really quickly. So the reason I'm bringing up static and live is because it all has to do with your message that you send somebody. If the message is worded, hey, if you want to see how the market is doing through September of 2023, if you want to see how what the average price of homes are for Sterling Heights, Shelby Township, Rochester Hills, and Troy through September 2023, you want to select static. What static does is when you send that out, if somebody clicks on this report today or mid-November or mid-December, that the data points will only go back to September of 2023, this time period right now. Remember when I said that these reports are automatically updated around the 15th of the month, so October data will come out then in November, and November's data will come out in December. If you send the report out that says through September of 2023, they're going to see information that runs down that says October, November, etc. on there. So if you're being very specific about your time frame, you want to select static so that no matter when they open it, it'll refer back to that time frame. However, if you're posting it on Facebook or sending it out and you want people, now when I send out my mass emails, I send them as static because I say through September, whenever the quarter is, through September through October of 2023. I don't want them to see the next quarter's information if they decide to come back to that email a month or 2 later on. That's going to be my next email for them. But if I'm posting this to a Facebook post or something else like that, you want to select live. The difference between static and live is static is only to the time frame you reference. Live is anytime they click on it, they're going to get the latest updated information. So in that case, if you're posting something and you want it to be open-ended, you say, hey, if you want to check out what the average sale price for single-family residential homes in Sterling Heights, Shelby Township, Rochester, and Troy, click here. So when they do that, it doesn't matter when they click it. You don't have to worry about updating your post because you're not being date range specific. It's great for a Facebook page. It's great for a blog if you do something like that. It's great for if you have your own website and you want to put it on your website as a tab for people to click on. Then no matter when they click on it, they can open it up and get this information. And the information will be just like we have it formatted here. You have the other thing is how you'd like to share it. Static and live don't pertain to the PDF because obviously when you print out a PDF, that's the only time it's gonna take that screen and create a document on it and send it. Where it becomes where it matters how you select it, static or live, is are you gonna send it on social media or an email, or if you're gonna embed it in your blog or website. And I already covered the difference between the two and the wording. So let's say we're going to put it on social media and email. We're going to leave it as live because we're going to put it onto Facebook. You select share. And then here's the URL. You just copy and paste this and enter it. And then it gives people a live link that they can click on that would open up, that would be able to send them right to this chart right here, and then they get all that information. You just take this link, you copy it, paste it onto Facebook. You could say, hey, if you want to put a pasting out there on your Facebook page, if you want to know how the markets are doing in these areas, click here for more information. They click on that, and you go from there. If you want to embed it, in your website. Here, it gives you different ways to embed it. You have your image. It could be a PNG image or it can be an interactive frame, and you have your different sizes. Select share. It'll give you what you need to embed this into your website if you want to do that, so that people can click on that and get the information. So those are the couple of different ways that you can do it. You can only do one report at a time, unfortunately. So if you wanted to share with them the average sales price and the number of homes for sale, again, you can really see how these cycles start to develop, the same kind of periods every year. You would have to open this up and then share this separately. So I told you earlier, bear with me 1 second. I want to find some emails on another screen and bring them in. To people that I have done. I'm going to drag this over. Here's the emails that I sent out to a bunch of people for the different areas. The last time I did this was, when did I send these out? It doesn't matter. I'm going to open up this email so you can see what it looked like. This was the email that I created. This body I already had done. So all these people in this one area, all I did was change their name, and I put in a little personal note up here. Here it also included a link to, here's the main part. This part was already set for each person. And then here is a link that takes them to what I was just talking about. And in that, I downloaded the county they were in and the township. Well, in this case, the city, the specific city that I included in each email. I saved these and I just pulled these all in. Here's Harrison Township because that's the city they lived in, Macomb County. I reference it up here. And then here I put in a little blurb in there in my email about partnering with some excellent mortgage people as well to try to get them to call me for different items, not just how the market's doing. But here's this report. It actually went out in July. And if I click on this link right now, this is how the page went out. And it was through June. I saved this as static. It went out in June, and here's the email that they actually opened up when they received it. My comparison areas were Harrison Township, Clinton Township, St. Clair, and Chesterfield. Those were all areas kind of in and around there. And so I pre-formatted my email. This was the report I dropped in. I saved it as static to drop it in there, but this is what they would open up. All these emails back here were everyone I set out. This is Macomb and Warren. This is somebody I created for Macomb and Warren. St. Clair Shores and Macomb. So as you see, I created different areas. I put a little explanation in there as to how the market is doing, just to kind of pique their interest to get in there. I attached the St. Clair Shores report and market stats and the Macomb County market stats. And then here's that report for them for the 4 areas: Fraser, Warren, Roseville, St. Clair Shores. And this was, again, a static report that I saved and sent to them. So it does take a little work. It took me a little while to figure out how I was going to format it. My emails, then I just cut and copied the emails. I actually created a Word document where I had all the emails based on the cities. Then I just cut and paste them in. I'm getting off a little bit in the weeds as to how I did all that stuff. My apologies for that. But the bottom line that I'm trying to show you is ways to actually use this information and not just show you some really cool tools. It's October, middle of November. I'll be coming up again. October is the end of a quarter. I'm going to be coming up in October and getting ready to recreate all this. And because I already have everything formatted, all I need to do is create my InfoSparks. Let me get rid of this. Create my InfoSparks graphs. I save them off on a separate area so I can pull them in and do my my FastStats that I need to for my different areas. And then I just come in, cut, paste, and send it all out. And I'm getting ready to do my October's report. I'll send that out sometime in mid-November. In January, I'll send out the end of the year data for everybody. Again, it takes me a couple hours to do this, but that, this is my business. This is what I do. So I'm going to take the time. I'm trying to look for something and talk. I'm going to take the time to, do this and get it right. Sorry for the awkward pause. Market stats. Yep. So I'm going to open up a Word document just to show you a little bit more that I have. Nope. Sorry, wrong one. Cancel. Well, I almost left the webinar on you guys. That would have been a bummer. Looking for one more thing. I can't find it real quickly, so I'm not going to waste my time looking for it and bore you guys to death. So getting back to everything that we talked about today and kind of summarizing it and wrapping it up, under Paragon in resources, we have 2 excellent tools for realtors to use to get current market stat information out to your clients. They're under social media lead gen. Second tab down, it's market stats. We have InfoSparks, which is what I just showed you. You can go up to 4 different areas. You can do zip codes too. If you have an area that has 3 or 4 zip codes and someone just wants to stay in zip codes, you can do that. If you want to do school districts, you can put in just school districts up here. Whatever you want to select, you can do Warren Consolidated, Troy Public Schools, and Utica Community Schools. You can do that. It'll pull the data for all those different points. If someone's thinking about moving into different areas, you can break it up differently in InfoSpark. The other way is FastStats. FastStats give you these local market updates. You can do entire areas. You can select a certain county, and within those counties, you can just select the different cities, municipalities, whatever that you need to do to generate that report. This is also where both of them, InfoSparks and FastStats, you can do through showing time by going down to reports. I just find InfoSparks a little hard to do on my phone. I really use showing time to send it out, that when people ask me that question, how's the market doing? I find out what area they're interested in, then I send them this report. Those are what you can, that's what you can find under market stats, and that's kind of the summary. The last couple of things we're going to hit on real quick, and I don't see any questions popping up. It's just a little bit about the main page on your My Real Source homepage. If you look in this middle bluish bar right here, we have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that other stuff. The most important thing is YouTube right here in the middle. If you open up the YouTube page, it takes us to our YouTube page, which is a great resource to find all these classes. I even use it and go back at times when. My Real Source takes great pride in providing. That's Colleen talking. I use. Always top it on her eyes closed. I use this to go back to look at things that I'm a little bit rusty on. I go back to look at others instructors' classes, because we all have a little bit different way of teaching things. We all have our little bit of shortcuts. I do things a little bit different than other agents do that teach as well. So I like to see what they're doing. I picked up some tips. Colleen did a CMA class a couple weeks ago. I sat in on her class and I went back and reviewed some stuff, and I picked up some information that she did. And what's nice about it when you come to our YouTube page is if you want to search a topic, you search over here where this magnifying glass is. You don't come up here because that's YouTube search. Come over here, and so if you want to find out information about MarketStats, just type in MarketStats and hit search, and it should bring up all the different YouTube videos that Debbie had edited and loaded up for different ways to use MarketStats. Please, if you do come on and you haven't already, please subscribe and like our page. It just helps us get better views and better placement on YouTube itself. If you don't want to search individually like that, all you have to do is we'll go back to the home page. In this title bar right here, we have videos, shorts, podcasts, playlists. Playlist is what you really want to use. When you select playlist, it has all them kind of the different things grouped right here with different things that you can go in. If you go to generating leads, let's say, there we have different YouTubes that we've done training sessions on how to generate leads. If you select here, you can see that there will be, there should be, here are all the different YouTube videos that we have on lead generation that are out there. You can scroll through any one of these that you want to, if you want to, brush up to see what we have for lead generation. Here's a Paragon MLS system. If you're a little rusty on Paragon for some reason, you can click on that. And just other little videos are in here that are really, really cool to use. I come here to brush up on my skills some and also to find out what new tools are available. So that is in, we'll go back to our Paragon homepage. That's right here under YouTube. Another great place to go is under here up to the top in this darker blue. At the very top, it says MLS Documents. If you select MLS Documents, come down to the second one on the right, MIRS Education. Here's where all the education, here's where all those PDFs are, the handouts that Debbie gives, that you want to go in and refresh yourself from. You just come in here. If we select MarketStats, it should bring up the PDFs. I probably spelled something wrong. Let's see what that does. Here are the MarketStats ones. You can come in here and select these, open them up, and you have access to all that information. That's under the home page. Over here, MLS Documents, and it's already open. Under MIRS Education folder. There's some really good information in there. Just kind of want to show you where that is. There's one other thing that I want to go back to our YouTube page. This is a newer feature that we have. It's not getting a lot of people they're kind of just finding it. It's called Cuba Casa. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know how to actually say it. What it is, I don't want to call it. Hello. We're going to come up here and do a search. And I think that's enough. Home.
My rules.
Cuba Casa, right here. Cuba Casa floor plans. What Cuba Casa is, it's a free app that we offer. There are some upgrades you can do to it, but once you have it, you basically take your cell phone and you walk through a house. There's a tutorial on how to hold your cell phone and walk through a house, starting in the basement, and it will give you a floor plan of that house. It takes about 24 hours to get back from them once you upload the information. There's a way to hold your cell phone as you walk through the home. You do not have to have closets cleared out. You don't need to have furniture moved. It's not like you have to be able to see everything along the floor line when you're doing it. So you can take the house as is. My only recommendation is open up all the doors beforehand, all the closet doors and everything else, because you do have to kind of scan in there a little bit. It takes the information as you walk through, and it generates a floor plan for you. I did it in my own personal house. It came out really, really, really close to almost exact measurements of how my house was. I didn't move any furniture along the walls. I didn't move any bedrooms out of that were on the walls, any of the beds, any of the clothes out of the closets, nothing. and it did a pretty good job of coming up with a floor plan for my house. And I've used it in other places. So if you're listing a property that doesn't have a floor plan and you want to get a floor plan to include in your listing information to show people as part of your photos, it's a great tool to use. I strongly recommend that you go to Cuba Casa Floor Plan, look at the tutorial, and figure out how to use it. There is a little bit of a learning curve. There are upgrades that you can get to it where if you want to drop in furniture and everything else. Practice on your own home to see how it looks. You know, it's not foolproof, but I'm telling you, I don't have a floor plan in my house. I now have one that's pretty effective that I can show. If I ever go to list the property, it'll give a very good representation with fairly accurate measurements as to what the house looks like. So take a look at Cuba Casa. That's something I try to throw in at the end of my class. And right now, just for those of you who do not know or aren't familiar, one of the great things of being a member of My Real Source is the amount of data sharing that we have with all the other MLSs across the state. So I'm going to see if I can bring this in real quick. This has just been updated. Here you go. I'm going to overlay it here so you can see. Here are all the areas My Real Source data shares with everybody. As you can see, we have a great network where you can get information. Log into My Real Source if you want to know more about where we go. But if you got clients that have vacation properties up in Traverse City, Petoskey, in these areas, you can now, if you want to list their properties, it will appear in the Northern Great Lakes Realtors MLS. It'll appear up there in their MLSs. We have operating agreements with them up there for cooperation, compensation, and everything else. Same with if you get way up north, we have some areas up there and on the west side of the state. We just recently updated this just to let you know that being a member of My Real Source, you have a lot of options open to you. So that's as a Real Source member. That takes care of my class. You guys logged in for InfoSparks and MarketStats. And FastStats, how to do that. I covered a little bit of a couple other things, including Cuba Casa and our data sharing and our YouTube page and where to get the information. I hope you really use this stuff. The information I showed you, I roll it out there quarterly. I set something up. It took me a little while to figure out the best way to use it for me. But once I initially got it set up, it's one of the things now I roll out quarterly to my clients. And then after I send it out to certain clients, about 2 or 3 weeks later, I use that as an opportunity to reach out to them, to call them, to be my initial conversation of how are they doing, how are things going. Oh, by the way, I emailed you something on the market conditions. You know, do you have any questions on it? Did you get an opportunity to look at it? Stuff like that. I use it as a reason to stay in touch with them and call them. So it's a great tool. It takes a little bit of time, but you know, once you figure out a system for you, I think it's a tool that can really help you stay in touch with your clients. That wraps it up, Debbie, unless you have anything else that you would like to add at this point.
It's all good. If you guys haven't heard about the photo copyright Con Ed class that we're offering coming up around the corner, we've been emailing about that, so don't forget to get registered.
Yeah, that's it. That's another great class that's going to be there. I forgot about that when I did read the email. I'm actually going to that as well. You know, oftentimes when it comes to photo copyrights and stuff, a lot of times we are ignorant of what the laws are and we get away with it just because we don't know. Most agents might not even care and just say they're going to do it anyways, and none of it really matters until all of a sudden you're the one that gets the violation, or it goes to your broker, and now all of a sudden you could stand some serious fines, or you know, even be censored and possibly lose your license. So I'm going to the class because I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm not going to be turning anybody in, but I want to know that I'm not going to be the one that's going to come around and could be subject to opening myself or my broker up to a fine or penalty because I was ignorant of what's going on out there. So it's a great class. I would, you know, strongly recommend if you haven't been to anything like that, that you go and sit through the class. So sorry, Debbie, that's the last thing I'm going to throw in there.
All right, well, thank you, Chris, for teaching another great class for us.